हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। मैं हूं आपका दोस्त दीपक केसरी और आज हम बात करेंगे डॉकर्स के बारे में। नेक्स्ट कमांड that is how to pull an image and how to run the image. So let me pull this image. I will type. I have this repository here. Let me show you. I already pushed it to my Docker hub. Here you can say this is the repository. There is a version also. If we not provide any tag, it's by default automatically fetch this image from here. If you provide the tag that is 1.0.43, it will pull this image, right? So let's pull this image and we will not run it. So let me just type docker pull and the image name is DKC. Or you can, here I am typing my user ID, but for the official image, let's say for the SQL, for the node, you don't need to type any user ID, they are the public one. So if I type store-app, if I not provide any tag ID, let's say here from this 1.0.43, right, it will fetch the version this, and if I will not provide anything, it will fetch the latest one. You can see that it's fetching. Okay, when you run the image now, you can see now here is the image that are in our system. So how to run this? We can use the run command to run the any image. So let me just run this image, docker run, and let's say this is an app. I will give the port here, let's say 400. I will give the port, and there it run inside on an 80 port. And if you want to give the name of your container, you can say name. I will say Deepak app. This is the name of this container, and after that we can run it by saying here is the image name tk3/store-app. So there is one more that is, we can say if you want to run it in a detached mode, so you have to insert D. It will run in detached mode. So when you can see that on your Docker PS, when you say Docker PS, it will show you this app is running, up and running. And when you go to your URL here, and when you type localhost, let me just give, right now it will give error because no API is running. So you can see your Angular application is working. This giving us an error due to our web API is still not there. That's why when you run this, you can see it's not there. Previously it was there. Okay, next topic is how we can run the existing images like SQL Server, so that we can use the containers to in our application. So the like web API, we want to use the database into your API, so you can, without installing the things into your system, you can directly use the existing images that provided by the vendors like Microsoft or like Node.js. Whatever the things you required, you can use that without installing into your system. So first we will use the SQL Server. Let's type it, the Docker images here. Let's type the SQL Server and open the first link here, and you can see, let me open that. Here you can see they have provided the command how we can use that. So let me copy this and jump into the terminal where we can put that, right? Yeah, this is one. Let me clear the terminal. So paste that command and modify according to your use. So I will guide you. What is this? Here you can see this is -e. This E stand for the environment variable. Whatever the environment variable you want to set into your container, you can use by a command during the running it by setting it -e, and after that in a string format you can provide your environment variable value. Let's say here is the environment variable MSSQL underscore say underscore password. We will provide the password for your database MSSQL server @2003. This is the password. Here -p already discussed, which is used for the port to export. Left side is the always your system port, and on the right side is that it run into the container port. Basically, we are providing the same port for the output as well as the input. And -d is for the detached mode, and the last one is the Docker image, that is the microsoft.com/MSSQL. These are the image directory that push to the repositories. And when you hit enter, it will create a container with this. There is an error. The error response from the daemon to the error here. Error is that our port is already allocated to this running container. When we need to stop this container so that it release the port, and now we can try to run this application again. I already told you, whenever you use the run command, it always create a new container. So this SQL server is running and using the port 404.433. That's why it's not allowing us to use the same port, that's the binding column. So after stopping the container, we can use this, and whenever you will run, it will create a new container. You can also see here, this is the container ID, and now here you can go there and it will give you a random name. This is the running, this is modest underscore, it's any random name it will provide whenever you will not give your specific name during the running of your images. So now let's try to connect this by using the SQL Azure Studio. So here is the studio. Now click on new connection. Let me add a connection here and provide your here localhost, comma, you can give the port by comma separated 433. Here is the user, password is MSSQL SERVER@2023. Remember this and connect this. Trust the certificate, and here you're good to go. You can see here is the system database. Now let me use a new query, and we can also create our own database here. Create database debug, and when you run this command, you can see this command executed successfully. And when you refresh the database, and just you can see here the database is already ready. Now we can use it anywhere. So you can see here it is very much simpler than installing the SQL server into your own environment. And by chance if you had anything wrong with that container, you can just directly remove that container and your system will not be affected. So it is very powerful to use the container. So for this, thanks guys. We will still covering this series, and next we will learn how we can create our own image. Here is the application we have. This is the front end and the back end application, and we will try to create the image of this application. So we will create a Docker file in it, and then we will create our own image, and then we will push that image to the Docker Hub. Stay tuned, and if you like the video, please subscribe it. Thank you.